Hey everybody, it's Dave Bredhauer. I'm here today to share with you a couple ideas that I had with some glitter paper. We just came out with a bunch of new glitter products, a couple different pads that have lots of different glitter colors in them. And I'm using the different glitter papers with alcohol ink today to show you that you can put different layers and colors and details on your dies using this technique. So let's get started. I was busy last year researching different types of glitter cardstock, and I wanted to come up with some custom glitter colors. So for the technique I'm showing you today, we're going to use the Delicate Pastel 6x6 glitter pad. This has 12 different really subtle sheens to it. There's a pink, a yellow, a green, a blue, a purple. You kind of get the idea here. And depending on the light, you can see faintly the different shades that are on each page. There's 12 different colors, 2 pages of each, so you get 24 different sheets in this pack. And I want to use it for this technique because since it's a fairly neutral glitter background, using the alcohol ink on it will show up best. So we're going to start with the Bellflower Circle Wreath. I'm just using a scrap of this glitter cardstock, and I've cut that out. I want you to see how well this cuts. The glitter cardstock is a heavyweight cardstock, but it just cuts like butter. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. It's really great quality glitter cardstock. I'm going to save any scraps. You can always use those for something later. Now, when you're looking through your stash of dies to use with this technique, I think you can pretty much use any kind. If it's a bigger area, you'll just have to remind yourself that's a lot to color in. So I'm choosing, little bits and details here and there to kind of show you how this all works. I'm just going to use some Copic markers to start coloring these in. You'll notice that coloring this in is a little bit different than coloring on cardstock. You don't want to press too hard. I'd say you want to be a little bit gentle when you use the tips on the glitter cardstock because it catches a little bit. You don't want to make your tips too worn out from doing this technique. And you should know that alcohol ink sort of just glides onto the glitter and spreads a little bit on its own. So you don't have to be too concerned about getting it all saturated. Now we're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to be linking below in the description all the different products that we're using today, including the Berry Branch Loving Heart that I'm showing here. I'm going to fill this in with some green marker and just using a Copic marker to kind of put in some green along the branches. And I'm skipping different parts. I'm avoiding the berries and I'm avoiding parts of different leaves. I'm going to go back in with the lighter green yellow color to fill those leaves in. And I'm just brushing lightly over that area. And then I'm going to fill in with a little bit of red, leave some of those berries untouched, and then I'm going to add a little bit pink to some of those berries too. And you'll notice that color sort of meets in the middle and it creates a really nice look. Once that's all done, I'm going to just put a little backing behind it. This is the Scallop Pinpoint Loving Heart from the Scallop Pinpoint Loving Heart set. And it matches perfectly the background of the Berry Branch Loving Heart. So it makes a nice little background right there. It fits just perfectly, and you can use that on a nice little card too. Look at that shimmer and shine. All that glitter still glistens right there, but it's colored in individual little areas. I love this technique. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the Easter egg. This is the Lacework Egg from Memory Box. It has lots of individual detailed little areas that you can color in with some alcohol ink. And I'm just going to do that here. I wanted to create bands of color across this Lacework Egg. And so I'm starting with a pink. I'm going to follow that up with a little bit of teal. I'll just put that up above. And I'm not really having much of a plan here. I'm just starting to put some color down. You can see that color spreads a little bit as you put it on top of the glitter paper. Remember to be sort of gentle as you add it on. And once you get that all filled in, I took a look at it again and realized, oh, why don't I put a little bit of color on top of there? And that just kind of softened that transition between the teal and the pink. And look at it, it's amazing. A rainbow of colors, they're all glittery, but the color's right where you want it. I left the edges of the egg untouched so that color starts right inside the border. It's so beautiful. Now I'm going to move on to the Gilja Stems. This is a new die for spring 2020. It has lots of little florets at the end of stems. For this particular design, it doesn't matter what shade of the pastel glitter cardstock you use because we're pretty much going to be coloring the entire thing. I'm putting some lavender down first, I guess it's kind of a purple color, and then sort of an aqua color on top. I let some of those areas mix over each other to create new shades, and some of them I just leave untouched. A little bit of green on the stems and you're done. And look at all the shimmer on there and all the different shades of blues and aquas and purples that you get on all those little florets. Okay, so here's another one. This is the Adriana oval frame. This is one of my most favorite designs that I came up with this spring. It comes with a cutout in the middle, that extra little oval. We'll save that for another project. But lots of little details on the outside of this frame. As you can see, there's about 100 little leaves here that you can color in. So I'm going to add color to all the leaves, all the little areas around the frame. I want to keep that frame untouched, and I think I'm going to leave all the berries just white as well. I think that this particular pastel glitter cardstock had sort of a yellowy shade to it. It's a little bit hard to tell in the video. So if you are planning on keeping some of that pastel cardstock uncolored, you might keep an eye on exactly what shade you're using so that it sort of goes with the colors that you're adding to it. Now, look, I put my lightest yellow green down first, and then I'm going back in with some dark green. And then I wanted a little bit of shading on those leaves, and it doesn't take much, just a little swish of color, and you got it right there. Look at that beautiful blending. I put a bunny right in the middle of this oval frame and tied a little bow on him. This is a great frame to work with, and I love all the detail you get. And again, that sparkle is just amazing. Now this is the cherry blossom frame from Memory Box. It comes with two different pieces. It cuts an inner piece and an outer piece. I'll just be coloring the inner piece. I think you can see there in the video that the outer piece I cut in sort of a blue shade of pastel glitter cardstock, and then the piece that I'm coloring in had a little bit of yellow to it. It doesn't matter too much. There's lots of different colors that we're going to be using to color this in, so it can be kind of neutral or even a different shade, but since there's so many colors, it's just going to kind of make it nice and vibrant. I put the brown down first, and then I'm coloring all the little leaves in with some green, and then I'll finish off with some pink, and there you go. All that glitter shows through, and I just add a little sentiment, and you're good to go. Look at how beautiful that green shows up on there. I'm a little bit partial to green, and so green cardstock, green glitter cardstock, I love it. Now, when I was designing the cherry blossom frame, I realized I wanted more different pieces to work with in a cherry blossom theme. So I designed a die. I called it Cherry Blossom Elements. It cuts out 3 different pieces, and that's what you see here. I'm going to color one of them in so you can see what I'm going after here. Just a little pink on the flowers, a little green on the stems. When you duplicate that out and glue it around the edges of a plain card, add a little blue to the middle, it's amazing. This is something you really have to try. That glitter stands out, and it looks like you did so much work, and you really didn't. So this one, this is a theme that I've been repeating ever since I started making dies. I love making tunnel projects where one die creates a hole that's a little bit smaller than the next hole, and then it gets bigger and bigger. When you overlap all these different layers together, you create a tunnel effect. And I'm going to show you here, I cut these out of different shades of cardstock. You can see pink, orange, light blue, kind of a blue purple. You can kind of see it here. And when you stack them up, you put the smallest hole in the back, then you put the next one on top, then the next one, and the last one, that's the biggest one. It goes on top, and it needs to be the biggest piece of paper so it'll hide all the edges. And look at that. You can put all sorts of things in there. Little animals, little saying, whatever. But I love this glitter alcohol technique because you might want to add a little detail to the back just to make it look like it's a little more dimensional, like there's a little bit more depth going on there. So I just took one of my alcohol ink markers, a little Copic, and I added some deeper colors to the back. And it doesn't take much, just a little bit here and there. And look at the effect. Look how the dimension just goes back, makes it look like it's deeper and deeper. I added a little winged dove on the top like it's flying over, and I'll be using this set of dies again and again. Like I said, this is one of my favorite things to work with, those tunnel cards. Anyways, on to the next one. For this last sample, I'm using the Adriana Wreath. I've just cut it out of a pink shade of pastel glitter, and it's the exact same easy technique. I wanted to create sort of a tone-on-tone look here, so it's a couple different shades of pink that I'm blending on the larger leaves on this wreath, and I'm leaving pretty much the rest of it untouched. I hope you can see how easy it is to alter the color of your glitter cardstock. This 6x6 delicate pastel pad is really good. It's very neutral, so it's easy to add some shades on top, and it helps you create a whole new look. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time.